Chatty, chatty, loose catchies. Of course, chatty means something else up here, and it
Does
doesn't
it?
just
What
mean
does chatty mean?
cheap. So
Oh,
someone,
cheap and
someone,
chatty.
so someone can be chatty, as in they're talkative, but a
Yeah,
thing can be chatty, as in
yeah,
that looks a bit cheap and half done or
yeah.
messy. Aye. So I'm going to be talking about reliability today, mostly because I've been applying for a million contracts and even some perm jobs as well, thinking I'll broaden my search. And getting anybody to reply to you is, even when you get into the process, so we'll get back to you by then, do they? No. So even if you can get them to respond and get you into the process, the interview dates change, the feedback on the interview changes, the employer that's going, because I go mostly through agents, which is generally the better way in IT, in that for the employer it weeds out, all of the Excel heroes who think they can do a data engineering job, and narrows the focus on CVs. And for me, it means I can have a chat with the agent and they can see if I'm a best fit, whether it's worth applying for in the first place, and they can talk you up and talk about suitability. And you get a few details about the place before you apply. Oh, it's like this, it's like that. This is the kind of role. This is the company. Go check them out. So you get a little bit of a briefing prior, so it works on both ends. You know that I don't just apply for everything, even when it's unsuitable. It helps you narrow a focus at both ends, so it's great that way. But it's a bit of an employer's market. So what I'm finding is the IT market's a bit dry. So there's not a lot, certainly not a lot in contracts. There's not a lot in permanent work. So when you're applying, there's 1, 2, 300 applicants already on there, and that's within the first 3 days or so. So it's understandable when you've got a flurry of stuff that you might not hear back, but when you're going through an agency, it's usually there might be a handful, 4 or 5, because he's already weeded out a whole bunch of stuff. And just finding that the employers just aren't getting back to them. The number of times I've gone through an agent and say, oh, they're just not responding to my calls, my emails. They like to look at your CV, and that was the last I've heard. And it kind of broadened my thoughts out to what we're talking about last week with trust. That I found that some agents and things I've been using for ages, my trust's wavering a bit, because I'm not speaking to the employer, so I only have their word on certain things. And it made me think about what you'd said about building up trust with either individuals and corporations and whatnot. And I thought, well, reliability feeds into that you could really trust someone, and as soon as they become unreliable, your trust starts to wane as an effect. And it can happen the other way around. It the builders you're using, if they were super reliable, always there at the right time, did exactly what, and the price only wobbled a smidge, and you just got used to them, the reliability of them, your trust would start going through the roof, right? And you would go straight to them for that piece of work. So, well, the two come in hand, don't they? The trust and the reliability. That even if they don't do necessarily anything wrong, if you can't rely on them, then your trust in them falls. Like when you need something done, you're like, well, I need this done by then. Can I rely on them to do that? The work might, when they turn up, might be top notch, 100%. But it's getting them to turn up. It's getting this company to respond. It's getting this agent to respond. And it's led me to having this running commentary in my head about stuff I'm seeing on the news. Oh, these people not getting jobs and sitting on their arse and on benefits and this and that. I said, well, the job application process is not in your hands. I've applied for. I'm in double digits now in the number of jobs I've applied for in the last month or so. There are still some I've heard nothing from, and I felt I was an ideal fit because that's where I started, applying for jobs with ideal fits, and I've broadened my search to I'm a 90% fit to an 80% fit, and I'm just blasting me details out there.
How does the we talk about reliability? How does that when you have these conversations, because we tend to go back to them, don't we? We tend to
Yeah, we
nudge
do.
them.
Yeah.
How does the excuses sound to you? Because they sound terrible to me when they come out of their mouths.
Yeah, I mean, I've just got your message.
Yeah, yeah. I was just going to ring you. I
I've
was
just got
just.
your message.
I'm just 5 minutes round the corner.
Oh, I was away. Oh, I was out of office. Oh, I was doing
Yeah.
this, and I'm like, well, I kind of look. We've all done it, right? So you just have to kind of suck it up, right? And now I tend to message them through LinkedIn, so I know they're getting it, and I've got a history of it. I know it's not. Oh, well, I didn't. Oh, I missed your call, or I didn't recognize. I don't know. I just thought if I go through there, then it's all lined up, all the different people, and I know when I did it, all of that. I can drag and drop me files and stuff, but it's the recruitment process is not in your hands.
Yeah.
You can apply, you can go for every job under the sun. You are not in control. You have none, other than submitting your CV. What after that? You don't know if you're going to hear. You don't know if you're going to get an interview, a callback, questions, nothing.
If
You
you
just got
work
to
on the
sit.
assumption you will not hear anything back, does that mean we just move forward and we apply for something else
Well,
until they come to us and say, by the way, you're up for an interview on Friday?
this is the mindset I've been trying to get myself into. This is why this last week I went for. I can't remember how many was it. 7, 8. I can't remember how many I went through. I just spotted one. Went yep, yep. I've still got another handful. I'm gonna knock out today, ready for the start of the week. Then there's the whole week to go to hear something, right? And I was applying for some ideal roles. Think, no, I'd love to hear about this one. And I was stopping applying because I don't want to mess up the process and have all these other things going on when this is the one I really want.
Yep.
And
No.
that's how I started. And now I'm at the point where I'm just firing off in every direction.
What happens if you had
And
an objective, if you had to apply for 100 jobs by the end of next week?
if that was the objective, weirdly, I'd be more bothered about the objective than. So it's about. Yeah, so it's about knowing how your brain, how your mind works, right? How your brain works, and setting
Yeah.
the target appropriately.
Yeah.
Which is
Now we're not interested
easy.
in the feedback, or we're not interested in we're interested in about hitting that target.
Well, I then there was something I was going to ask you actually was the one where I didn't get the second interview this past week. I hummed and hawed about emailing them back and saying, so have you got any feedback I can carry forward? I mean, I think I already know the answers because I know what my weak spots were in the interview, right? And if you pay enough attention in the interview, you can kind of pick up on these different vibes. And I thought, I think I know. But I thought it might leave a good lasting impression if I email it. And I haven't. But I thought, should I? Or should I just move on to the next one? So in the end, I just moved on to the next one. Is it
Yeah,
going to
the
add any
recruiter
value?
the recruiter can't be asked to go and ask.
Oh, well, this was direct with a company. This was one of the few that actually they've got their own recruitment arm in their own business. Got their own recruitment bit to the website, so they've actually got not just an HR team but a recruiter team.
I just go into that specific job, that specific interview. When will that specific job interview happen again? The answer is never.
This is the thing. Can I use anything that's going to come back from that, or am I just doing it to score points with them by leaving a good lasting memory with them? And
Just
is she
burning
really going to
energy.
give me? Is she going to be honest on our email, and she's going to give me some generic platitudes? Oh well, this was good, that was good, and
What,
it's
what,
just
what
that the
about
standard was really high. So
What about if that's the answer? That's the only answer you'll get. The standard was really high. You didn't meet the standard. Is that it?
Yeah, well, that's generally. I mean,
That's it.
that's
That's
the
the
email I
feedback.
got. Standard was high, and I just thought, is that enough? Well,
I'm
likelihood
not expecting
is
anything.
likelihood is they had more on this than I did, and they care about that specific thing.
Yeah, yeah,
So then I
yeah.
went and applied, like I say, for another 7 or 8. Just thought, I need
Good.
to move on.
Yeah.
Need to move on and not worry about. I mean, I might never see them crop up ever again, for all I know.
Going
And
going going back to sort of reliability. I've probably mentioned this before. I worked with a coach a few years ago, and he just said to me, he said, "I don't believe anything you say. I only believe what you do." And I just loved it. And our whole careers, Simon, have been about meeting deadlines and providing stuff for people when they want it and when they need it. And now we're in a world that doesn't do that, and we find it really upsets us.
yeah, yeah, our team,
Yeah,
and it was a team because we were invited out as a team to go and fix another warehouse because we worked well. We'd all established our credibility individually through demonstration, like the production of results. So the results
yeah,
spoke for themselves. And we weren't even necessarily asked individually what we contributed. They just went, look at where it was and where it is now. Can we have that over there? It wasn't about necessarily even word of mouth. It was about demonstration. And I earned my credibility with you through showing you what I could do and what that gave you. Same with you as a leader, as my leader at the time. You gained credibility with me through what you did and sometimes didn't do for me, and the way you led. The same with Michael and Ben and the rest, and the position they started in. You gave them room to demonstrate, and in the end, they all did. Right. Same with Brian. He demonstrated how well he could run that whole department in the end, and
but
I'm
why
not.
why are certain industries now expected to be unreliable? Why is that? Why is that an acceptable behaviour? Why have we, whether it's the building trade, whether it's recruitment, whether it's estate agents, solicitors, why is it acceptable to be
Yeah,
unreliable?
there is a certain amount of sway built in, isn't there? Like
Yeah,
you expect a bit of. It's a bit like you can use the weather as an analogy. We we all know that the weather isn't accurate. We all know that it might be wrong. Yet, do we all watch the weather? And do we all go, oh, that it's going to be hot this weekend, and we all believe it in the moment, but we also don't at the same time? We have this dichotomy in our head, like, oh well, they said it is, but we'll build in a little bit of a tolerance that this it's going to be super. It might be warm. Why just stop watching it? If it's unreliable, if that service is rubbish and unreliable, and it's not going to come out anywhere near 100%, why are you still believing in it? Why are you still using it? I think this is one thing that sort of Amazon gets right, that even when what you get is rubbish, there is a way of sending your stuff back. Or you go, well, it was cheap. You know what you're getting. You
I
can read
did
the
me.
reviews. You know what you're getting. So,
I did my return this week. Remember we discussed last
oh
week.
yeah,
So I did my return. Within 8 hours, I had a credit on my account for £46, and so I managed. Not sure how, we haven't got that many viewers, but an item broke. I bought the same item and sent the broke item back and said it had just broke. But it does what it says on the tin, doesn't it? Amazon, it's reliable, and you know how
that
it works.
that is the thing. And when I returned some of the stuff I bought, because I just found it wasn't working the way I thought. I bought it for one reason. I was like, this won't plug in. And I'm the kind of person that says, oh well, I will. I'll send it back. And I went, do you know what? I'm going to do it this time. So I kept the boxes, put the stuff in the thing, went on. It was dead simple. Click, 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 click. Or we'll come and pick it up. A person will be at your house for whatever time tomorrow. A courier will come pick it up and send it back. credit went on the account, and then eventually cash went in the bank. And it seems like what they've done is, well, look, our turnover's so massive, just authorise the returns process. Like, don't quibble, don't faff with it. Automate it.
Pre-authorize it. Remember when we had Pandora pre-authorizations? Oh no, we need to check that first. But imagine you do pre-authorization built on credibility and trust, and they come and buy something else off you straight away because they've now got money in their account.
It's the reason why some companies will give you a credit rather than cash, because then the money
it's technically still there.
Yeah, it's not a total undo. It's a, well, we've still got hold of the money. You can just go buy something else. So it's like the money's pre-spent.
Yeah.
Right. So, but they feel like they've got justice because they've been able to return the thing. They've technically got their money back. They're probably going to come back to you anyway. So if you just, like you say, pre-authorize it, or just yeah, and Amazon do it. They just allow you to churn. Although I think there are some taking a lens saying, "Oh, I never received that. I will send you another one."
So
you did, but you sold it.
Can we force people that we need something off to become reliable by being a pain in the ass in communication? So, like, mine would be like estate agents and solicitors. Like, I just ring them every other day. They start to hate you, therefore they push you through.
I must admit, I've worked in customer service back offices and whatnot, so I've worked on customer service emails and whatnot, and the ones that are nasty to you go to the bottom of the pile. I don't care how often you badger. I always did theirs last. The ones that are really nice, belted them out first. But the ones that just pestered and pestered, you kind of, oh, get out me face, man. And you would, as long as they weren't nasty, you'd be like, right, okay, fine, just can you just get rid of that? They've rang your team leader. Can you just get rid of this? It's too noisy.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah. And then you'll rattle the thing out.
He rings every other day. Can you just get him off my case? He's really nice as well, but I'm just so busy. Can you just get him off my case? Yeah.
Yeah. So if you can strike that balance right with sounding patient but being impatient, so ringing often but not sounding like a dick.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a nice balance, isn't it? Oh, he's a lovely guy, but he won't shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. So we become a bit of a pain in the ass, which gets us where we want to be because they're unreliable. But we've been nice about it. So
it's maybe just the magic mix, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's the magic formula.
Yeah, it was just like, I just find the whole subject of unreliability fascinating. Just like, because I'm just, if I say I'm ringing you at 2:00, this is where we talk about in time and through time. People, I'm sitting there at 5 to 2 getting ready to ring at 2:00.
Yeah, I can't do anything once it gets close at the time.
Yeah.
I can't commit to another task at least 5-10 minutes before, because all that's on my mind is this phone call. It's
phone
call.
You messaged me that it was 25 to 2, saying, "Oh, we're doing 2:00 at some point," and I was like, "Oh, crumbs." And I'm on the phone to my dad, and I'm thinking, right, I need to end this call basically now. Even though I had 25 minutes, and it takes me 30 seconds to move from one room to the other.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was the same. I was sat there with my phone at 25 past, and I typed in 2:00. It took me another 5 minutes to send it, because I'm then going, right, that means I've got 30 minutes. Doesn't feel like a lot. What do I need to get done? I need to make a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Have I taken my stuff out of the right? And all I could think about was when do I need to switch my laptop on so that it boots up in time for this to open this. I nearly went for 2:30, and I thought, no, because I'm going to spend an hour thinking about 2:30. Let's do it sooner rather than later. Let's just say, right, 2:00. Let's get done.
What are you more bothered about? Are you more bothered about us forgetting, therefore being perceived as unreliable, or other people being unreliable? Which one do we hate the most?
What you mean, being unreliable yourself? Like forgetting an appointment, being late?
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Oof.
It can ruin me day at work if I'm late.
Yeah.
It can ruin me day if It's almost like I'll spend the whole day feeling like a hypocrite because
Yeah,
I have high expectations of others, and when I don't meet them,
yeah. It
I'm
was
not
like
my own best friend that day. Like,
it was like Friday. I was supposed to have the Danish guy that I'm coaching. 7:15 here. I'm on the. I'm ready at 7:15. I'm online. At 7:20, I messaged him and said how we're looking, and he messaged back saying, "Oh, are we meeting today?" And actually, that didn't bother me because I was reliable, but he wasn't. But yeah,
yes. I don't. You're right. I wouldn't end up in a bad mood. I'd be like,
yeah,
I'd be in
but
more of a bad mood if it was me. So
yeah,
it's
but
worse for me if it's
yeah,
me.
if he'd forgot the day before and just messaged me and say, "Oh, I can't meet tomorrow," but I was sat here 7:15 in the morning. I could have been doing something else and I wasn't, but I wasn't miffed off about it.
Yeah,
So even though I should maybe be miffed off about it,
yeah. That you'd had it planned well in advance, but if for some reason you couldn't have turned up till 7,
yeah,
that would have knocked you for 6, right?
yeah, and there has
Seems it
been
would
the
for
odd
me.
occasion where I have done that, and you're right, I beat myself for hours over that.
Yeah, could
You
have
know,
done this. Why didn't I? Well, I should put that. Well, why didn't I just tell this person to?
me ten
There's all
nine eight
the
765 4 2 1 alarm. I ignored it. Oof.
yeah. Oh, there was that extra snooze, wasn't it? It knocked off me thing, and then yeah, takes me a good while to get over that. Yet when
Yeah.
someone else doesn't rock up, I'm like, right, right. I'll remind them of that next time I see them.
Mhm.
What's next? It's very yeah. I've never given that much thought. But you're right. It's easier to let that go than it is when it's my own fault.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we've done our bit, haven't we?
Yeah. Yet when I rock up late, even when they're not bothered, I'm
No, they're
more
not
bothered.
bothered.
I'm quite often more bothered than they are.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I've just been, well, actually, it gave me a few minutes just to check through your messages before we started. And
I
but
know you're just being polite. No, I'm actually telling you the truth. That didn't bother me. Yeah.
reliability matters so much that when it's me, yeah. But it at least means that I'm doing whatever I can to not be a hypocrite about it. Because it's
Yeah.
not worse than someone imposing a thing on you, yet they're rubbish at it themselves.
Yeah. Because I think when you talk about reliability versus excuses, I think in certain industries, the ones we've been talking about, it becomes the norm that they don't perceive it as being unreliable. That's just the way they work. So telling lies and making excuses is normal, therefore it's okay.
Oh yeah, it's not worse than when a company says, "Well, these things happen."
Yeah.
Do they? How often? And why?
Yeah.
And have you looked into that?
Yeah.
And I think maybe it's the closing remark for me is you should be aware that there is a difference between a reason and an excuse. Right? One, you're trying to get yourself out of it. The other is just an explanation. And I learned that from you. That
Mm.
I'd be saying, "Look, this, and this happened," and you just put that look on your face, and I'd be saying, "No, I'm not excusing myself from what I've just forgotten. I'm just telling you because I need to. This is the sequence of events that led to it because I hate being unreliable, and in this moment, that's how it looks. But this sequence of events led there, and I couldn't avoid them. But I'm not excusing or trying to be apologetic. I'm just saying, look, I couldn't have done it any other way. Could you though? Stop it. Stop it." So, notice when people are doing this, are they trying to excuse themselves? Create an excuse? Or are they giving you reasons? There is a big difference between the two. So, I think that was a good vent.
Yeah.
It was a good vent. So we've got what? We've got presents and Christmassy things coming up next. Ooh, it might sound a bit bar humbuggy, but some things need to be said, right? They need to be said, and they're going to be. So, that'll be out on Thursday. Today's, in quotes, Tuesday. if you enjoyed our little chat, want to put your own little comments and your own experiences down there, give us a like, your comments, subscribe and follow. Really helps us out. Completely free, but helps us get out there in the algorithm. But until Thursday, take care.